The real luxury nobody talks about, running pain-free in your 40s. Not a car, not a watch, just knees that still work. And if yours don't, it's not your age, it's how you're training. I'm Dr. Ray Peralta, physical therapist, run coach. In the past 10 years, I've helped runners in their 40s and beyond go from constant knee pain to running pain-free again without needing new shoes or cutting running out completely. In this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly how they did it and how you can run pain-free in your 40s or even if you're older as well without giving up running or slowing down. So the problem, if you're in your 40s or beyond, things start to feel different, right? You wake up, your knees are still feeling stiff. You try to go for the run, and they're still stiff. Now your hips tighten up. Heck, maybe your back tightens up, especially after sitting all day. And you finish your runs feeling more beat up than before, right? And a lot of runners, especially older runners, think, oh, I just need better shoes. I need to get a new pair of shoes, or I just need to stretch more. Or maybe I'm just getting older, it's just a normal part of aging. But pain is just part well, a lot of people also think, oh, it's just normal to have pain. Like, oh, it's just normal part of running. You just have to be in pain, especially as you get older. But here's the truth. It's not your shoes. And it's not just a normal part of aging. You don't have to be in pain just because you're older, right? You don't have to have all these aches and pain and stiffness just because you're getting older. And enough times it's not an issue with the sport of running itself, right? You just have a joint capacity problem, an issue with how your body's able to move, its mobility or its strength, stability. See, running is a sport, it's a high impact sport, and you work 2 to 3 times your body weight every time your foot hits the ground. So even if let's say you're 150 pounds, that's 300 to 450 pounds of ground reaction forces going through your leg. And if your joints aren't prepared, they're going to start to break down. That's why I know when I'm working with a lot of older runners, and they're like, "Oh, I just started training for a marathon, and then I'm ramping up the mileage, and then boom, I get injured." And then they want to blame running, but it's also because their body just wasn't strong enough to handle the demands of running. And if you're in your 40s, having joints that still work, right? Again, is that real luxury? It's just making sure your body is strong enough to has enough of the capacity, tissue tolerance to handle the demands or the loading demands on your body. And if you want a copy of this Google Doc breaking down how to learn how to run pain-free, I'm sharing it inside my free running school community, a link in the description. So step one, fix mobility. It's not just stretching, right? So many runners will conclude that I'm just going to stretch for 30 seconds, my hamstring or maybe a quad stretch, and call that mobility. That's not mobility, right? That's passive stretching. Real mobility is like active, taking their joints through its available ranges of motion, typically to end range, whether it's the ankle joint, the knee joint, the hip joint, etc. And spending enough time going through the end ranges to actually make meaningful changes, right? 30 seconds, just a little static hamstring stretch is not enough. It's actually an active dynamic, again, taking the joints through its ranges. You're typically spending anywhere from like 90 seconds, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, even up to 5 minutes, right? And it's really getting control, making sure your body has control through the full range, right? For example, can your ankles actually bend forward during the load, right? This is where you going into like a deep lunge and rock forward all the way. See, okay, how far can your ankle tolerate side to side, like a really deep lunge, forward lunge? Can your hips rotate properly, right? You check your hip rotation, or can your hip extend properly? Can you control a deep squat? Can you go into a deep squat comfortably without needing any assistance? And if you can't, you most likely have some mobility issues that you need to work on. The deep squat's a great test for overall lower body mobility, and your ability or inability to do a deep squat can really highlight a lot of things that's going on with your body and what areas you may need to work on. So like the deep squat, you may have to work on your ankle or your hip. You might notice that you have restrictions in different areas. And if you don't own the range, your body avoids it. And that's where a lot of time the pain starts happening, because you're lacking mobility in one area, then another area starts to compensate. It's like the kinetic chain, like one weak link within the chain causes the rest of the areas to kind of take more work or stress on the body. Oftentimes, for example, really stiff ankles can cause knee issues, or really stiff hips can cause knee issues, right? There's multiple things that can be going on. Build strength, right, to also protect your joints. Your joints don't get stronger from running alone, right? People think, oh, I'm just going to run alone. Running's going to strengthen me. And that's a myth, right? Your muscles are, it's actually what helps you strengthen the joints, right? Now, you do get some endurance training when you run, of course, but running alone is not a substitute for strength training. Many runners skip strength training altogether, or they're under training when they strength train, right? They do very light weights, high reps, or doing just random workouts that don't actually transfer over to running. Focus on single leg strength, strengthening the posterior chain, control movements, compound movements, and then progressive overload to get you stronger, so your body can actually get stronger and handle the demands running. Again, many runners are just underpowered, and then they're overloaded from their running at the same time. Right? They're often doing lots of cardio, but they're not doing the true strength workouts that actually carries over to make a more robust, durable runner. The other thing is to run less, run smarter. A lot of runners think that you have to run, 5 days a week, 6 days a week, especially if you're training for a half marathon or a marathon. However, that doesn't have to be the case. Sure, that's one way to train, but there's also another way to train that gives your body more time to recover. Because the problem with training almost every day of the week is that you don't have any recovery days from running. What I recommend, instead of just doing 3 runs per week, whether it's a long run, a tempo run, or a speed run. Now that might be too much for some folks, so it might just be a long run, a tempo run, and an easy run. That's fine too. There's different ways to program this, of course, or it can maybe be all 3 easy runs. If you're more of a complete beginner, all 3 of them can all be easy runs. And so essentially, when you're doing this type of a schedule, you're replacing some of the junk miles that you would get from doing quote unquote recovery run. Now you're able to spend time doing strength training like 2 or 3 times a week, mobility training on a daily basis, actually recovering from your running workouts. See, running more doesn't fix your body. It oftentimes exposes what's not working. Now, if you're a really elite level runner, right, really competitive runner, you've been running since you were 6 years old, sure, maybe you've conditioned your body to the point where you could run almost every day of the week and it doesn't bother you. You're really in tune with your body. No one really to dial it back. Like your jog is truly an easy jog or an easy run. But for most runners, especially folks who started, or maybe they restarted running as adults after a big gap, like maybe they had a 20-year gap when the last time they ran, they oftentimes are more predisposed to likely getting injured because they work, sedentary jobs or what have you. So it's wiser to do a 3 runs per week schedule. And then add power, the missing piece after 40. As you age, you lose power faster than strength, right? You lose your explosiveness. That's why running starts to feel slower, heavier, less efficient. So add things like jumps, whether it's squat jumps, box jumps, drop jumps, plyometric work, explosive work, the speed squats, speed deadlifts, power cleans. Power training can be added with the strength day, so it could be done on the same day, or if you want to do it on a separate day, that's fine too. But essentially, adding power work is oftentimes one of the missing links in helping you be more explosive and actually helping you break past the speed barrier. A lot of runners are like, oh, as I'm getting older, I'm getting slower. It's oftentimes you're not doing explosive training to actually help you get faster. In addition to the strength work, of course, you need both the heavy lifting and the explosive lifting, which will make you a more durable, more robust runner, and also help you reduce injury risks and improve your running efficiency. So now you can run faster for longer. So what happens after you kind of implement this smart kind of training that I recommend? Your joints are going to feel stronger, obviously, including your hips, your knees, your ankles, right? You're not going to feel so fragile. You're going to have less stiffness at the end of your run, especially if you're doing daily mobility work. No more constant flare-ups, right? You're not going to keep having that recurring aches and pains. And you can run consistently, build your fitness again, and actually, enjoy running and improve your performance as well. You don't have to work like, oh, I'm just going to keep getting slower as I get older. You can slow down the decline of performance. And I've seen like 70-year-olds actually run 8-minute miles, 7-minute miles. So just because you're getting older doesn't mean you have to necessarily completely slow down. Sure, you might be winning the Olympics, but you shouldn't have to, slow down drastically. You should still be able to hit pretty good paces as well, assuming you don't have any other health conditions. So you're not just trying to survive running, you're trying to perform again. So I currently have a few spots open to work with me one-to-one to help you run pain-free, get stronger as a runner. If you're curious, there's a link to apply in the description. First come, first serve. So the lessons, not just your age, it's your preparation. Mobility is in stretching, it's active control through the range. Strength is what protects your joints, not just some new pair of shoes. Running alone is not enough to stay healthy, and longevity comes from training like an athlete, not just a runner. So catch you on the next one. Like, subscribe, or comment if you found this episode useful.